Okay, welcome back, Rudy's Resurrection fans. Thanks for joining me again. It is Father's Day weekend and exactly 1 year since I started this build. So I thought I would just do a quick little walk around, kind of current state of the truck update kind of thing. So starting with the front, I've still got to get a lot of the fasteners and everything in the doghouse, get that all tightened up. And then get my grill in, lights wired up, that kind of thing. I did get some conversion, I think it's H4 or something like that, conversion plugs off a recommendation from Frame Swap Faction. It basically just plugs right into the Crown Vic plug and then goes into the three-prong regular sealed beam headlamps, 7-inch headlamps, which these old trucks had in them originally. I know a lot of people are going with halogen or LED or whatever, a lot brighter lights, and I may do that eventually. But for now, I'm just going to use what I got, just get it back on the road, and use the regular old 7-inch headlamps. I'm going to kind of do the same thing that John did in Dead Animal Garage and get my parking lamp kind of grafted into the ring light turn signals in the old F100 grill. So I'm going to kind of do the same thing there. So we got a lot of work to do on that. Got to get the front bumper mounted. I have no clue at this point how I'm going to do that, but I'm sure I'll get it figured out. I did replace the condenser as well as the accumulator dryer and the evaporator. So I've got to get my AC system recharged. I tried to pull a vacuum on it and get it recharged a couple weekends ago, but I wasn't able to maintain a vacuum on it, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Unfortunately, I may have a leak somewhere, and that's going to be kind of a bear to track down. Quick tour under the hood. I haven't got my hood release in yet, but I'm going to do a very similar thing that Stacy did in his build with using the original Crown Vic hood release. I want to do the same thing there on his build, Scrap to Art Metalworks. Because I think he did a fantastic job there. So I've got all that I saved from the Crown Vic. I'm gonna be working on that. That's just another thing on the list. As far as my Airbox, basically I just cut an opening. You can kind of see it right there through the radiator support, and just kind of pulled the rubber portion of the intake through that. It's right next to the headlight bucket. And I think that should work just fine, because it's obviously a pretty similar place to where it was in the Crown Vic, behind the front grille. So that should get plenty of air there. It's just kind of zip tied down here to the radiator support. So that's kind of how I mounted that. As far as my inner fenders, I just used the Crown Vic inner fender wells, the plastic inner fender wells. This cab is kind of sitting low enough that the front clip was pretty much right down where about the original inner fender wells were for the Crown Vic. So basically I just bolted them in a couple places here and here, and the original holes for the fenders for the original inner fender wells for the F100, which are actually right over here. So I decided not to mess with those and try to trim that down or anything like that. I think it's going to work just fine. So that's what I did. Got the PCM mounted to the original place here. I've got to do a few more things as far as sort of securing these inner fender wells, but for the most part I think they're going to work fine. I haven't done anything with the wiper motor yet, but that's going to be down the road as far as getting using the original Vic wiper motor I like to use. There's the original plug and everything for that, so I'm going to try to use all of that for the truck. Same thing on the other side. Just bolted the inner fender wells directly to the fenders. I think that works just fine. I think I've already kind of talked a little bit about how I did my battery. I used the battery tray out of the cab that I got out of the salvage yard. And I think that's going to work just fine. The battery's nice and secure. Used the original battery tray out of the Vic that has the power distribution bracket on it as well, so that just sits right in the same place. And then I got my grounds here. I'm gonna have to change my battery in my camera, so I'm gonna have to pause this and I'll be right back. Okay, fresh battery in, we're good to go. So I just get my grounds here, just bolted to the fender, and everything is running fine. So grounds seem to be working. The wiring harness, I'm going to tape this up, put some more protective covering on that, and then just probably zip tie that up under the radiator support here once I get my hood release in. Alright, so that's kind of under the hood. Let's look at the rest of the truck. So there's my fenders that I widened, and I wasn't sure how much I liked that initially. I was a little bit had mixed feelings on it. It eliminated the tire rubbing, which obviously needed to be done. I just could not stand that. Wasn't going to tolerate that. So I had to do something. But the more I kind of just looked at the truck, I really like it, especially since I've got the bed on now. And I've widened the bed, and we'll cover that here in just a second. But based on the widening of the bed and pushing the fenders out, I really kind of like the kind of appearance and the stance it has as far as sort of balancing everything out. I think the widened bed really kind of pushing those Flareside fenders out really kind of helps balance out the front. So she's pretty wide now. All right, well, let's take a quick look inside. Obviously still a whole lot to do inside the truck. I don't have my carpet in or that kind of thing. I was trying to decide what kind of sound system I was going to put in here, but at this point I may just bypass the entire sound system, just run some amp wires and things of that nature under the carpet, and just go ahead and get the carpet in. Just have all the wiring there so I can kind of hook it up. So I can go ahead and get the carpet in and get the seats mounted, that kind of thing. I don't have my Mustang wheel on there that you may have seen in an earlier episode that I picked up from Summit. Wood Mustang steering wheel. Still got the old Camaro wheel in there, but I'll swap that out. I did get the parking brake mounted a little bit closer to the driver's side kick panel. I went ahead and cut out, I don't know if you remember from a previous episode, I left a remnant of the Crown Vic kick panel in there where the bolt pattern was already set up for the e-brake. It was just really sitting way out here, too far. So I cut that out and pulled a little bit more of the cable through the firewall and pushed this over and basically welded some studs into the kick panel of the F100 here, and I've got the e-brake mounted over here where it's a whole lot more out of the way basically. So I've got the cover over the original vent there just behind that, so if I ever need to get access to that, I can take this off and kind of get in there. I've got the e-brake release just mounted under the dash right here. Works just fine. Actually, I had it on, and that's working good. Got the original gauges from the Crown Vic in there, and I'll probably leave those in there for a while until I go with some aftermarket gauges potentially. Eventually, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Got a lot of work to do as far as ducting, getting all the vents in and everything. I'm going to try to get some ducting in for my defroster vents and everything out of the top of the airbox thing, or whatever you call that, air distribution deal. But my fan and everything is working great as far as the ducting, where it's pulling in the air from the passenger side kick panel. That's working really, really well. So I'm happy about that. All right, so let's move on back and check out the bed. So we got the bed on. Really, really happy with how that's turning out. So I ended up putting 10 inches in the bed. So I split it right down the middle and pushed it out 10 inches. I've got basically some bracing welded in there. I've got a little piece of angle. I think it's 1 inch angle on the front, the lower part of the bed there. I've welded in. Still got to weld those panels in. And at the back here, I've ended the frame and basically kind of where these original Flareside bed mounts, the rear bed mounts, end up sitting right on top of the frame. I think the angle of the body line and everything is going to be perfect. This side's kind of still bent up from where the tree fell on it, but I think that's going to be perfect. So what I'll end up doing is probably just welding a piece of angle or something from one side over to the other side. I'm trying to make y'all dizzy here. Over to the other side, and then that's where I'm going to basically mount the rear part of the bed, and then in the front I'll work something else out as far as making some bed mounts to the frame on both sides up there, and get that figured out. I got a neighbor running a chainsaw. Hope you can hear okay. Can't believe I got the noisiest neighbors in the world. That's a joke. Obviously, all the noise I've been making in the last year doing this build. So I've still got to get all this welded in and everything before I get the bed finally on there for good. I'm super happy with how where the wheel is falling in the wheel opening of the bed. I think it's right where I ended up, right where I wanted it. And like I mentioned before, I'm going to end up putting a wider rim on the back. So I'll probably end up putting a 17 by 10, or maybe even an 18 by 10 or 18 by 11, something like that, to really kind of fill in this, wheel opening, give it a staggered look, put a wider tire on the back. I can even probably come with a little bit wider tire to the inside here. I got a little bit of space, depending on what the offset is. But I think that's going to be great. So very pleased with how it's coming together. Just really like the stance of the truck. I wasn't sure exactly how I was going to like it with widening the fenders and widening the bed, but I think I'm going to be very, very pleased with it when it's all said and done. As far as my fuel filler, my plan right now, I've saved the door and everything and all the mounting and everything out of the Crown Vic. I cut all that out of the body, and I'm going to try to basically bring it out somewhere through here and weld that door and everything in, and see if I can bring the fuel filler neck up here. So I think that'll be pretty cool. I'll try to get the fuel door somewhere here on the back of the fender. I think that'll be pretty convenient if I can make that happen. So we'll try to do that. All right. Well, again, just wanted this episode to basically kind of just be an overview, recap. Again, the 1-year anniversary of starting this project, and I'm really happy with how it's coming. I was hoping to have the truck done in about a year, but I'm not too far off. I got a bunch of little things to do, but I couldn't be happier with how it's coming along. So I appreciate y'all following me along, coming along for the ride, and as always, leave any comments, questions, etc. you may have in the comments box, and look forward to the next episode, which is going to be hopefully the bed mounting and finishing up the front clip and on to a lot of the other little things. Looking forward to getting the lights and everything working. operational. I've kind of been working on getting the wiring diagram from the steering column and everything sorted out, so I know how to, hopefully I can get that kind of grafted in with the Crown Vic, you know, wiring, etc., so all my lights and everything will work. I look forward to getting Rudy on the road. He's already licensed, good to go there. I got insurance on him, and just got to get him street legal, and looking forward to getting him going. The F100 Nationals is in October in Pigeon Forge, and that is going to be my goal at this point, is to have him finished in time to sort of do the debut road trip to make it to the F100 Super National. I think it's called the Super Nationals, which is in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. So if you ever go to that, or planning on going to that show in October, hopefully you'll see Rudy there. So again, thanks for watching. Appreciate all the comments and the questions and tips and those kind of things all along for this ride. It's been a great year. Can't wait to get him finished up. So again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.